But I will say, yeah, it is fascinating. I mean, to me, I think the most fascinating thing about it is how a few uh, influential people basically started a scare that took down what I would consider to be a very influential large commercial bank. Like they're not high on branches, but they were high on deposits and they were high on just the influential customers they deal with. And it really did take a few VCs getting scared based on, and I don't know if you want to do a rundown or anything like that.
I mean, it was definitely high risk as well, though, right? So they were high on those other things, but they were certainly high on risk and maybe really didn't take into consideration what other banks were recognizing was going to happen in the environment, right? You knew the interest rates were going to be going up,
Yep.
and you knew there was certainly the potential for an impact, and they were more concerned about maximizing their return over just making sure that they're doing it responsibly, for sure.
That's true. I mean, maybe that's a good segue into talking about managing risk and kind of how you
Yeah.
watch. And this is what you speak of it all the time. So this is really a segue of me trying to get you to tell me how managing risk is important.
It is interesting to think about, right? Because from a business perspective, whether we're consulting with our clients or for ourselves, if we're looking at a vendor, a third party service provider, it's due diligence is incredibly important. We're very, very thorough with our due diligence process, and I think most businesses are like that. Most businesses need to be very, very thorough with that process. They recognize the risk that there is if they're not. But I don't know if people do that with banks. I think people have blind faith that the banking system is sound and solid, and something like this isn't going to happen. And obviously, it takes an incident like this to remind everybody that that's not the case. And even for your bank relationship, one, you should have redundancy and have a backup bank. But two, maybe there's a little bit of due diligence involved as well, and to just even taking a quick having your CPA or your a member of your accounting team just look at the financials of the bank, and to look at some of the specific ratios just to see how healthy that bank is. Are they over leveraged?
Is that publicly available?
It's publicly available.